Hi there. I'm here to talk to you about the Tetrabiblos series. Now, some of you have probably heard of the Tetrabiblos. It was written by Claudius Ptolemy years and years ago, thousands of years ago, and it was said to be, at least by the ancient authors, to be one of the most hard to read and understand philosophical books of its time as far as astrology goes. Now, the reason for this is that Ptolemy was not himself an astrologer. He was more of a thinker, and he also wrote the Almagest, which is a huge astronomical treatise. But the Moira Press has gotten three of the books of the Tetrabiblos translated in a very, very clear fashion. There's one left to go, and when we get through reading these three, I might take to the fourth one. But I want to show you something. Our first book that we ever translated at the Moira Press is called An Introduction to the Tetrabiblos of Ptolemy, and this is written by Porphyry of Tyre. And so what he does is try to make the Tetrabiblos more readable by making an introduction to it. Now, this is a really cool book, which is, oops, there's a magic card. You know I love Magic the Gathering. But this book is a little cute little introduction with all these little, like here it has exaltations, naming of certain zones, and what he's doing is explaining concepts that Ptolemy uses in the Tetrabiblos, the parts of the body ruled by each of the planets. Um, this is a really interesting chapter on the manner through which the indications of planets come to fruition. This is how do we know something will manifest. So this book, we're going to start reading the whole Tetrabiblos in a reading group. We're going to start with the introduction to the Tetrabiblos because really this book goes with the Tetrabiblos. So we're going to start with the introduction, then go into book one. Now, why read the Tetrabiblos? Book is amazing. So let's look at book one and the table of contents. Look at the covers. They have the same image, but it's flipped around. I love it. Okay, so this book was literally called Apotelosmatica, which it's a long story, and we'll in the reading group we'll learn what that word means, and it's the ancient word for astrology. But so this says table of contents, introduction. Then chapter one is on the degree of the ascendant, also called the hour marker. Chapter two is a dissection of genethliology, the study of individual birth charts. Then there's a chapter on the parents, on the siblings, one on masculinity and femininity in creatures, on twins, on marvelous monstrosities, on atrophy, on the chronological length of life. He's talking about the length of life calculation, which Vettius Valens trips on for a lot of his books. And so Valens was dealing with Ptolemy, and then he says on the morphology and mixture of bodily indications, on the quality of the psyche, on the pathology of the soul. So this book is really interesting. Let's read a page here. Introduction. In the roadway provided to us earlier, we have taken a theoretical viewing of general attributes and properties. Those who have led the way have gained mastery over many subjects. This is powerful in terms of any one human and their own nature in evolving to their fullest potential. The prognostication part is what we call genethliology. And then there's a footnote here. It says genethliology is a term meaning the study of individual birth charts, as opposed to general astrology. Okay. Then he goes on to say, there is one power which leads us to both of two thought forms. One is that of a thing being created. The second is a theoretical observation of that which is being created. There is a general viewing and a more specific viewing for the causal forces in each chart, its attributes and properties. The sun, moon, and their movements are considered, as well as the wandering stars. A prognosis is made from what is lying above in the natural formation and according to the likeness of forms in the heavens. The cyclical periods in the surrounding atmosphere are observed, from which one can gain scientific knowledge. So as you can see, this is a textbook. It's written very, very well. This is book three I was reading from. But anyways, there are a few translations of the Tetrabiblos. So if you're really interested in the Biblos, I encourage you to get several translations. But ours is very, very readable, very eloquent. I attacked these after translating Greek for 15 years. Book one actually took me 15 years. The editor is Ben Commons. So, anyways, come read the Biblos with us. We're going to start with the introduction and then go on books 1, 2, and 3. We'll be starting as Jupiter goes into Gemini. All right, Fridays from 4 to 5 Pacific Standard Time.